Welcome to IRA Tax Saver, a webinar by BayRock, how to save taxes and get more out of your IRA and your 401k. In this webinar, we're going to answer 8 common questions about our IRA and 401k retirement planning. First question is, how can I save more taxes in 2020? Can I do a backdoor IRA? Can I take tax-free distributions? Can I do QCD or Qualified Charitable Distribution from my IRA? Can I make deductible contributions to my IRA? What should I ask my advisor now? What do I need to do in 2020? And what are the key financial numbers for 2020? So let me tell you how we're going to answer those questions and provide resources in a way that will be tremendously valuable for you if you're tuning into this webinar. As I thought about how can I actually deliver a great value in a webinar, I know you don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time creating content that isn't valuable. So what we're going to do in this webinar is, and by the way, this is our demo. This is the first time the webinar is being run, the first series, if you will. It's version 1.0. And what I'm going to do in the next few minutes is I'm going to show you how we will answer those 8 questions, those 8 common questions, and many, many more questions. You see, I've spent a good deal of time and energy not only in becoming a certified financial planner, but really understanding the implications of tax planning. See, I was born on April 15th. My first son was born on December 31st. So what that means is, before I even got my son home to change his diaper, I get a full year tax deduction. My second child was born on October 15th, which is typically the corporate tax filing deadline. So somehow in my life, I have come to believe that I am called to be a tax planner. I'm not a CPA, but I do work with CPAs, and I'm happy to work with your CPA and anyone else on your advisory team. But back to the webinar. So this webinar, this series, is designed to answer all of your questions about how to save taxes using your IRA, including your tax deductible IRA and your Roth IRA and your 401k or any other retirement plan that you have at work. So let me walk you through 8 digital download resources for the webinar for IRA and 401k retirement planning. So the first question is, how can I save more taxes in 2020? We've got a download for you, which is, it's a flow chart or a checklist or both. It will give you a framework, each of these resources that I'm about to mention and highlight, and you'll see an image over there on the screen. Each of these resources we've created in a digital format so that you can easily download and read it on your device. So each of these resources are digital and can be easily downloaded, and we will send them to you. I will send them to you via through the webinar. So what we're going to do in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to name off the resources that we have immediately available for you to download. And this is a new tool for me. This webinar platform that we're using allows me to show you a resource, and you should be able to download it. So I'm going to walk through these resources, and then hopefully you'll be able to see a download link along the way. Now again, this is my demo reel. So if you're watching this video, if you registered for this webinar, you're very likely a friend of mine or someone who trusts me already, maybe even a client. This won't be the final webinar. This is just a test drive, but I really appreciate you participating, and I hope you will push the levers throughout the webinar. If you leave a comment, ask a question in the chat box, I will be answering those questions. Excuse me, I need a drink of water. So again, as you go through the next few minutes in the webinar, I hope you'll take advantage of the chat. Leave your question. I will be reviewing the questions, and I will be providing some input. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, but when I sign up for a webinar that is supposed to be a live webinar, it always feels a little odd and weird when I find out that the person who's talking to me isn't actually live. Well, I want to be very transparent. The tool that I'm using is designed to make it appear that I am live and with you right now. The truth is, the video is pre-recorded, but what I'll be doing is, each time the webinar is scheduled, I will block out that time and I'll be paying attention, watching the webinar with you, and I'll be the one that's responding to whatever questions or comments you leave in the chat box. So please, again, be active and let's interact. Excuse me, I think I have a frog in my throat. So now I'm just going to go through the resources. And again, you should be able to see download links as we go. So how can I save more taxes in 2020? Number one question. Number two, can I do a backdoor Roth IRA? Can I take tax-free distributions? Can I do a qualified charitable distribution from my IRA? Here's the resource for that. Can I make tax-deductible contributions to my IRA? Here's a flow chart and a checklist. What should I ask my advisor now? So this resource is a great template that we designed for the purpose of giving you a very clear structure for what you should be talking with your advisor about now. If your advisor is not available for that, we are. So this is the tool that we use, the checklist that we use to have meaningful and effective annual reviews with our clients. So that's for you to use with your advisor. And finally, what are the key financial numbers for 2020? You can find this through a lot of financial advisors, but this is just a tool. It's not something we actually created, but we put it together for your benefit. So you can share that with your CPA or your friend or your family, but it's a great tool and you can have that along with, here's 5 resources. Actually, I think, excuse me, 4 resources. It should say 4. I know it says 5, or maybe not. I'm reading 5 here, but there are 4. So the first one is an actual live consultation with a certified financial planner. And we do that in a screen share typically. You're welcome to come to our office if you prefer, and occasionally I'm happy to come to your place, your office, or your home. I love meeting with people over the kitchen table. But ideally, we would have the first meeting on a screen share or a phone call, and we would just get to know each other and find out if it's going to make sense for us to work together. That's number one. That's a free resource, and once you download the other digital resources that we've shared, the meeting that we have, this consultation, can be very, we can get a lot done in a few minutes. So it's not a financial planning engagement, but it's a great start, and I promise you we'll do our best to give you some good advice, good next steps, even if we don't end up working together. Obviously, BayRock wants to be working with more families, more investors, more retirement planners. That's what we do. That's our specialty, and that's the whole reason. Well, we want to do great education. I want to do great education, but I also want to get to know more people who may want to work with us. We have a great value proposition, and I'll tell you more about that later. But the first of the 4 free resources is that one-on-one certified financial planner consultation. The next is, I just listed 8 resources, and you can get any one, actually any 2, because we're going to give you the key financial numbers resource, but then you pick one of the others. We can't do 2 different checklists at one time. It doesn't make sense. So you pick one. First, you book the meeting with us using the link that you'll find in this post or below. You book that meeting, and then you'll get a checklist where you get to click. It's actually a check box where you get to tell us which of those resources you would like to use. So next, a Riskalyze investment portfolio analysis. This starts with a 5-minute survey, but it's very valuable and it's a great place to start. Finally, number 4, you're going to get a digital copy of my favorite chapter of my favorite book, Make Your Money Count. I'm the author of Make Your Money Count, and the chapter that really is the most meaningful to me is chapter 3, Powered by Purpose, and you'll know why when you read it. So you'll get a digital copy of that chapter, and I hope that when we get together, I will give you a hard copy of Make Your Money Count. So I'll show a picture of it. I don't have one within reach, but I have a whole stack of them over there on my desk. So you'll get a copy of Make Your Money Count when we meet in person. It's a nice hardcover, limited edition. While supplies last, I'll be giving that away to everyone that I meet with. But we can't obviously give that away on a Zoom or a screen share. So at any rate, those are the 4 resources that you will get just simply for becoming a participant in this webinar. So I hope that this is making sense. I hope you appreciate the value that we're going to be delivering. Obviously, there's a lot more value to come. This webinar is just to introduce you to the process. And again, this is a demo, so there's much more to come. I'm going to show you the technology platform that we will use to interact with you. You will have your own client portal. Now, this isn't free. We're going to do a $49.95 special offer. We typically do a $500 2-hour planning engagement where we can get a lot done in 2 hours. But in this case, what we're offering, a special limited offer, is a $49.95 deal where we will meet with you and do the preliminary gap analysis plan. We'll get you set up in your own client portal. You'll have access to consolidated performance reporting tools that are the same tools we use with our wealth advice clients, with our clients. So you'll get financial planning portal. You'll have the client portal so we can share documents between ourselves, you and I, and your other financial advisors, your CPA, your family attorney, your insurance agent. What we want to do is a thoughtful gap analysis, which is part of that package for $49.95. And if we're doing it remotely, I will mail you a copy of Make Your Money Count along with the full-size blueprint that we will be using as a structural kind of template for the financial planning process. So that's what the book Make Your Money Count really highlights, is this financial life planning process using the blueprint for financial success. I wrote the book, I designed the blueprint. It's a tremendously valuable process. And that's really what we want you to engage in as a result of this webinar. So thank you for being here. If you have any questions, please let me know. You are helping me kind of put the finishing touches on this, so when we do the next version, 2.0, we'll have it'll be less behind the scenes and more of a finished product. But I'm looking forward to having your input between now and then. I'll be working hard. It's not that far from being finished, but I wanted to do this quick behind the scenes test drive to see what we need to tweak on the platform. So thanks again. I'm going to stop there, and we'll see you next time soon.